Disclaimer. This podcast is for educational and informational purposes only and is not medical advice. I am not a doctor, and nothing in this episode should be interpreted as diagnosing, treating, curing, or preventing any disease. Always consult with a qualified healthcare professional before starting any supplement, medication, peptide, or research compound. Welcome back to the show. Today we are diving into one of the most important topics in human health, the heart. Your heart beats roughly 100,000 times every single day. That's over 35 million beats every year, and over the course of a lifetime your heart may beat more than 2.5 billion times. It's an organ that never rests. It works while you sleep, while you exercise, while you sit quietly reading, and even while you're listening to this podcast right now. Despite how essential the heart is, many people don't start thinking about heart health until something goes wrong. Cardiovascular disease remains one of the leading causes of death worldwide, and researchers are constantly searching for ways to protect, repair, and support the cardiovascular system. One of the most fascinating areas of research involves peptides. Peptides are short chains of amino acids that act as signaling molecules in the body. You can think of them as biological messengers. They tell cells when to repair, when to grow, when to calm inflammation, and when to produce energy. Because peptides are already part of the body's natural signaling network, researchers have been studying how certain peptides may support heart health and cardiovascular function. Today we're going to explore several peptides that scientists and researchers have investigated for cardiovascular support. Some of these peptides focus on tissue repair. Others influence metabolism. Some support blood vessel function, while others may help regulate inflammation or cellular signaling within heart tissue. Let's begin with one of the peptides that many people in the research community are already familiar with. BPC-157. BPC stands for Body Protection Compound. It was originally discovered in gastric juice and appears to play a role in healing and protective mechanisms throughout the body. What makes BPC-157 particularly interesting for cardiovascular research is its influence on blood vessel formation and repair processes. In laboratory research and animal studies, BPC-157 has demonstrated the ability to support angiogenesis. Angiogenesis is the formation of new blood vessels. When tissues are injured, including heart tissue, the formation of new blood vessels can help deliver oxygen and nutrients needed for repair. BPC-157 has also been associated with nitric oxide signaling pathways. Nitric oxide helps blood vessels relax and expand, allowing blood to flow more efficiently. Healthy nitric oxide signaling can improve circulation and reduce strain on the cardiovascular system. Another interesting aspect of BPC-157 research is its potential influence on inflammation. Chronic inflammation is a major contributor to cardiovascular disease. By influencing inflammatory pathways, peptides like BPC-157 may help support the body's natural repair processes. Next, let's talk about a peptide that is deeply connected to cellular energy. MOTS-c. MOTS-c is a mitochondrial-derived peptide. Mitochondria are often called the power plants of the cell because they produce ADP, the energy molecule that powers cellular activity. The heart contains an enormous number of mitochondria because the heart requires constant energy to keep beating. Research suggests that MOTS-c may help regulate metabolic pathways involved in energy production. It may improve glucose utilization and influence insulin sensitivity. When cells can produce energy efficiently, the heart muscle can function more effectively and maintain strong contractions. Another fascinating aspect of MOTS-c research involves metabolic stress resistance. Some studies suggest that this peptide activates pathways associated with cellular resilience and longevity. Because the heart is such a metabolically demanding organ, improvements in mitochondrial efficiency may play a role in supporting cardiovascular health. Now, let's talk about a peptide that has been studied for its role in tissue repair. Thymosin Beta-4. Thymosin Beta-4 is a naturally occurring peptide found throughout the body. It plays a role in cell migration, tissue regeneration, and angiogenesis. Researchers have studied thymosin beta-4 in models of cardiac injury because it appears to influence how cells move toward damaged tissue. Some research suggests that thymosin beta-4 may help mobilize progenitor cells that contribute to tissue repair. These cells can migrate toward areas of injury and participate in rebuilding damaged structures. Thymosin Beta-4 also interacts with actin, a structural protein that helps regulate cell movement and shape. This interaction may influence how cells migrate during tissue repair processes. Another area of interest involves the peptide's potential role in reducing fibrosis. Excessive scar tissue formation in the heart can reduce the heart's ability to contract efficiently. Supporting balanced repair processes may be important for maintaining cardiac function. Now, let's explore another peptide that influences inflammation and nerve-related repair pathways. ARA-290. ARA-290 is derived from erythropoietin, but functions very differently. Instead of stimulating red blood cell production, it interacts with something called the innate repair receptor. This receptor is associated with anti-inflammatory signaling and tissue protection pathways. Activation of this pathway may influence how the body responds to injury and inflammation. Chronic inflammation can affect cardiovascular health in ways that many people don't realize. Nerve signaling, immune signaling, and tissue stress all interact within the cardiovascular system. Peptides that influence these pathways are being studied for their potential role in tissue protection and recovery. Now, let's shift into a category of peptides that are less well known in Western research circles, but have been studied for decades in Eastern Europe. These are called peptide bioregulators. One of the most studied cardiac bioregulator peptides is Cardiogen. Cardiogen is a very small peptide designed to target heart tissue specifically. Bioregulator peptides are believed to influence gene expression inside cells. Instead of forcing a biochemical reaction like a drug might, these peptides may help normalize protein synthesis patterns in specific tissues. Cardiogen is thought to interact with cardiomyocytes, which are the muscle cells that make up the heart. Research discussions around Cardiogen often mention support for oxygen utilization, cellular metabolism, and the structural stability of heart tissue. Scientists studying peptide bioregulators have proposed that these short peptides may help aging tissues restore normal gene expression patterns. When tissues age or experience stress, protein production inside cells can become less efficient. Bioregulator peptides may help signal cells to return to healthier function. Another peptide in this category is Cardiolax. While Cardiogen focuses primarily on heart muscle cells, Cardiolax is typically discussed in the context of the broader cardiovascular system. Research discussions around Cardiolax often involve vascular tone, microcirculation, and endothelial health. The endothelium is the thin layer of cells lining the inside of blood vessels. Healthy endothelial function is critical for regulating blood pressure, circulation, and vascular flexibility. By supporting vascular health, peptides like Cardiolax may complement peptides that focus directly on heart muscle cells. Next, we should talk about peptides that influence metabolic pathways linked to cardiovascular health. GLP-1-related peptides are among the most widely studied metabolic peptides in modern medicine. GLP-1 stands for glucagon, like peptide 1. This hormone helps regulate blood sugar, insulin release, and appetite. While many people associate GLP-1 signaling with weight management, research has also explored its cardiovascular implications. Large clinical studies involving GLP-1 receptor agonists have shown reductions in certain cardiovascular events in some populations. Researchers believe several mechanisms may contribute to these findings. Improved blood sugar control can reduce damage to blood vessels. GLP-1 signaling may also influence inflammation and endothelial function. Healthier blood vessels allow blood to circulate more efficiently, reducing stress on the heart. Now, let's talk about immune system-related peptides. Thymosin alpha-1 is a peptide involved in immune regulation. The immune system and cardiovascular system are closely connected. Chronic immune activation can contribute to inflammation within blood vessels and heart tissue. Thymosin alpha-1 has been studied for its ability to regulate immune signaling and support balanced immune responses. By influencing inflammation pathways, peptides like thymosin alpha-1 may indirectly influence cardiovascular health. Another peptide that researchers have explored in cardiovascular contexts is epidolon. Epidolon is known primarily for its connection to aging and cellular longevity research. It has been studied for its potential influence on telomeres, which are protective caps on chromosomes that shorten as cells age. Healthy cellular aging may influence many systems in the body, including the cardiovascular system. Research into peptides that influence cellular aging may provide insights into how heart tissue maintains resilience over time. Let's zoom out for a moment and talk about the broader systems that influence heart health. The cardiovascular system is not just a pump and a series of pipes. It is part of a complex network involving hormones, immune signaling, metabolism, and nervous system regulation. When these systems are balanced, the heart functions more efficiently. Sleep plays a major role in cardiovascular health. Poor sleep can increase inflammation and disrupt hormone signaling. Nutrition influences cholesterol balance, blood sugar levels, and mitochondrial function. Regular movement improves circulation, strengthens heart muscle, and enhances mitochondrial efficiency. Stress management helps regulate nervous system balance and blood pressure. Peptides operate within these larger biological systems. Researchers are exploring how targeted signaling molecules might complement lifestyle approaches and preventive strategies. The field of peptide research is still evolving. Scientists continue to study how these molecules influence cellular signaling, tissue repair, and metabolic balance. Some peptides focus on repairing tissue. Others support mitochondrial energy production. Some influence blood vessel function, while others regulate inflammation or gene expression. Together, they offer researchers powerful tools for understanding the biology of the cardiovascular system. Before we wrap up today's episode, it's important to remember that the heart is incredibly resilient. Your body already has powerful systems designed to repair and protect itself. Supporting those systems through healthy habits, informed research, and thoughtful approaches to wellness may help maintain cardiovascular resilience over time. Disclaimer. Once again, this episode is for educational purposes only and is not medical advice. Peptides discussed in this episode are part of ongoing research, and anyone considering health interventions should consult with a qualified healthcare professional. Thanks for listening, keep learning, and stay curious.